Get Rich Slow with John Wolf. Hey, the elusive 800 plus credit score. How do you get an 800 credit score? Now, first I want to hit the brakes and tell you something that most people who have this conversation don't say. There's almost no reason to care. Okay, so with that out of the way, why would you not care? A lot of people are surprised to find out that for most home buying, pricing, and qualification decisions, 760 is a perfect score. In fact, for a lot of them, 740 is a perfect score. Now, this isn't true if you're in the $1 million plus loan range called jumbo loans. In that case, getting all the way to 800 will actually save you some money. But most of the people I'm talking to probably aren't purchasing in that price range. And if you are, good job, man. That's cool. So let me go back to how do you actually get that 800 credit score? Like, what does it take at minimum? And I am not pulling your credit score right now, so I can't tell you what surgery to do to get from A to B. But let me first describe the minimum scenario I have seen so far that has gotten someone over an 800 credit score on their real home buying FICO score. Because remember, there are different scores. And it got them over that on every bureau, all three. And that was one Texaco card that was begun in the 50s that they were the authorized user because their grandma put them on. Yes, that's right. One credit account, revolving, that had never been late and had been paid on time forever, basically, is enough to have an 800 credit score. So then the really good question for most people who don't have awesome grandmas who will make them authorized users on gas cards that have been around forever. How do I do it by myself? So here's the short, I'm going to do this pretty quickly, explanation. So it doesn't really take much. It takes a lot less than people think. So if you're starting from scratch, I want you to go open up 3 credit cards. Not more, not less. And then here's the really important part that people misunderstand. Do not go buy a laptop or something on each of those 3 credit cards. You do not want to hold a balance, but you don't want that balance to be 0 every month either. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get those 3 credit cards, and then I want you to go buy a small cheap item every single month that you were going to buy anyways, like a pack of batteries that you needed or a carton of milk, and make sure it's set up to automatically take money from your checking account and pay it in full, so you never make a mistake. And then we're really trying to get to the 1 year mark to see the big gains. It's also really helpful to open up at least one other type of credit, and you should not get more than 2 lines of this. Now, one type of credit is called revolving. That's a credit card. You can charge it up and pay it down. The other type is just called installment, and that's where, it's fixed 5 years, 60 months, starts at one amount, and you just pay it on the regular payments. And it hardly matters, but if you overpay by a very small amount, that can also help. So if your payment is $100 a month, do 101. You don't want to pay it off super early if you're trying to go for the max credit score. You want to take over a year to pay off. And you can do the normal thing to do, and it doesn't have to be something so big, because again, I don't want you to go in more debt in order to get a better credit score to get a home loan. So ideally, if you have a car that you already have, if you just get a car loan against your own car and put the money in the bank and don't spend it and just make the payments, that works fine too. A second installment loan you could get, and you do kind of normally need to have decent credit to get this, is just an unsecured personal loan. A lot of credit unions advertise holiday loans, and the idea behind it is they're going to give you $2,000 or whatever in order to buy Christmas presents. Don't do that. Don't borrow money to give people gifts. That's a terrible idea. But if you're doing it to build your credit and you don't actually spend the $2,000 and you're just going to spend a little bit of money in interest to get your perfect credit card, that's at least not crazy. So anyways, get 2 different installment loans, and by the time you're at the 2-year mark, you might get it early into the 1 year mark, but by the time you're in the 2 year mark, if you have 3 credit cards where you've paid them to 0 every month, but you've also bought something little in them every month, and you have 2 installment loans, and you have paid the full payment, maybe even $1 more every single month, and you've never been late, you will have an 800 credit score. It really is that easy. Now, how do we cheat and do it faster? Well, the first example, if you get someone, if you have someone in your life who has a revolving credit account, like a credit card or a gas card, and you know they've had it for at least 2 years and they've never been late and they don't really keep a balance on it, if you have a relationship such that it's not weird asking to be an authorized user on that credit account, then they can make you an authorized user, and from there on, you're gonna instantly get all of that credit history over, and it's gonna bounce your score up really decently. One other piece of advice I wanna give people, because I literally had a phone call yesterday where the person told me this misunderstanding, which is honestly propagated by collection companies. So if you have a collection, right, and you get a call from the collection people, and often they will actually say they will remove it if you pay. If this is anything other than a medical collection, they're just lying to you. If you are late on a credit card or whatever, and it's in collection, they cannot delete the fact that you were late off of your credit. That is not something they are allowed to do. Now, there are things that you can do to work on that, but they are not allowed to do that. For medical collections, it's different. If you pay a medical collection and they agree to settlement in full, that doesn't mean you have to pay every dollar, but they have to agree that you paid the whole thing. They're actually allowed to remove that from your credit score, and that is good. Anyways, Get Rich Though with John Wolf. Please smash that like button, share, subscribe. Have an awesome day. Bye.